Hi, my name is Tommy Mitchell. I'm a great guy.
Hi, I'm Lindsay Gunther.
I am Jacob Sand, and we will be your host for the Magic the Gathering podcast.
Do we have a name for
so to
this?
speak. No, not really. I just kind of go with it. Like, we'll think of one eventually. We'll come around.
To be decided.
To be decided.
Should put that in the podcast.
This is going to be in the podcast.
All of it?
Not all of it, but most of it.
Snippets here and there.
Yep. So next week we will be talking. Well, this week, first of all, more importantly, Tommy is going to take over some Magic lore for some new people that are coming in, interesting the story behind the card game. Not the story about how it's created, but the physical lore and the worlds of Magic. Next week, me and Lindsay will go over how to play a game and the base of it, and we're going to try to make it a visual as well, so that'll be a lot of fun. That's going to be pretty much it, and we're going to jump in here to the episode. See you guys next week.
Magic the Gathering is a trading card game. And what a trading card game is where hundreds and thousands of people will spend hundreds and thousands of dollars on a game that they enjoy. And they'll take these cards and trade with one another or keep them for themselves and make a deck out of them, like they do with Magic.
With Magic, you have varied formats you can play along the lines of Standard, which is your current released cards within the past typically 2 years. You have Commander, which is a whole nother thing. Modern is about every single card in the game, but it's a standard format with 60 cards. Legacy is similar to Modern, but a little bit more crazy. And that's just your basic formats that you have options to play as.
But for now, we're going to get into that in a later episode, but right now we're just going to do lore of Magic the Gathering because it has an intense storyline to follow.
It's a lot.
25 years.
And Time will take it away here.
With Magic coming into its 25th anniversary here soon, we're going to start at the beginning with a couple of brothers named Urza and Mishra. Urza and Mishra both came to have possession of two halves of a stone. Their two halves titled the Might Stone and the Weak Stone. Urza had the Might Stone and Mishra had the Weak Stone. The Might Stone made its controllers more powerful, and the Weak Stone let its controller make their enemies weak. The two brothers mutually wanted each other's half and had a falling out. Throughout the year, this inevitably culminates into what is known as the Brothers' War, with both brothers having armies of machines fighting for them. They eventually meet on the front line. Urza, upon seeing his brother, noticed that his brother had turned more machine than man and had been corrupted by a plane known as Phyrexia. This led to Urza using a powerful artifact to basically blow up the world. Urza and Mishra both died, but the two halves of the stone, the Might and the Weak Stone, they came together to save Urza and awaken his Planeswalker spark. From then on, Urza made it his life goal to destroy Phyrexia and its leader Yawgmoth. So that is the very basic beginning of it. We're going in now to what's called Urza's Legacy, Saga, and Destiny. It's a grouping. So the basic of it is Urza's back. He's making it his life goal to destroy Phyrexia. So, Urza is basically collecting a whole bunch of artifacts and is building a sky ship to defeat Phyrexia. With the assistance of a artificer named Jehoira and Karn, a silver golem, they go and they try to find all these artifacts and build them. While he's looking, the academy that he's the headmaster of, Teleria, has to battle a Phyrexian infestation on the island itself. Phyrexia is a big problem. I'll cover it more in detail in later episodes. This is just a basic synopsis. There's 25 years of this stuff. Urza's Destiny. So basically, Urza finishes the sky ship known as the Weatherlight, and he's basically working on a eugenics program to create the perfect crew for the ship, as well as engineering a race of soldiers to fight the Phyrexian invasion. The Phyrexians, in the meantime, aren't just sitting here and doing nothing. They create an entire plane called Wrath to field a invasion of the plane of Dominaria. So at this point, we're going to get into the Weatherlight Saga, which goes from about 1998 to 2001. So the Weatherlight Saga starts. The main antagonist of the Weatherlight Saga is a man by the name of Yawgmoth, who's basically the big bad. He's the leader of Phyrexia. He's basically Satan incarnate. Um, so the captain of the Weatherlight, Gerard, has to build something called the Legacy Weapon, which is a bunch of artifacts that'll come together to eventually destroy Yawgmoth, basically. And the focal point of it is the Weatherlight. Now, Gerard's brother, whose name is Vul, gets corrupted by Phyrexia and turns into Yawgmoth's first mate, named Volrath. So now we're going into the Tempest block. Basically, in Tempest, it's a continuation of the Weatherlight saga. They're in this specific set. They're trying to find Volrath's stronghold. It's a lot. It's hidden. They gotta find it. The next set, called Stronghold, they have to battle through Volrath's stronghold, which is, obviously they eventually find it, and they have to get through it. Volrath is a pretty wacko guy, makes a bunch of really creepy inventions and things and artifacts, and it's basically like House of Horrors if House of Horrors was made by a guy with extreme schizophrenia. The next set, Exodus, they rescued all the pieces of the Legacy Weapon and Captain Sisay, and they have to retreat through the stronghold to get back to the portal to go back to their home plane. Volrath is pissed. He's ticked off. He wants to stop it. A man on Gerard's ship by the name of Krovax becomes so power hungry that he turns into a bad guy, basically. Now we're getting into Mercadian Masters, which is a continuation of the story. Basically, the Weatherlight crew goes to a strange planet on accident. It's very Arabian Nights, kind of. Like, imagine Aladdin, but with a flying ship instead of a carpet. Basically, they lose the Weatherlight, and they have to get it back. Whole bunch of hubba bubba nonsense. They get it back, find an ancient rune with artifacts. It's nothing important really in that set. Nemesis is the next set. This is still the Weatherlight saga, by the way. It's another couple years. Nemesis, basically the Phyrexian invasion of Dominaria is nearing. Dominaria basically being the center of the multiverse. So the Phyrexian invasion of Dominaria is getting closer. The only thing that's standing in the way is Urza, who, when he got revived, turned into a Planeswalker, which lets him go in between planes. It's convoluted. You guys, if you remember Volrath, the guy I talked about like 2 minutes ago, he is upset, and he abandons his post, which leads to Krovax to take his place, who, if you remember, was on the Weatherlight with the crew. Krovax basically has to prove his worth to the Phyrexians to be like, yeah, I'm good to run the place. Invasion is the next set. Basically, it's just, as it states in the set, Phyrexia begins the invasion of Dominaria. Urza gathers heroes, renegades, common folk, and artifacts to hopefully repeal the invasion. Plane shift, basically, I say that word a lot, basically, get used to it. Phyrexian invasion is in full swing, and, despite early victories, Urza and the armies of Dominaria are losing. Portals begin opening from Wrath, bringing more Phyrexian reinforcements into the battle. Phyrexians are in a very loose term aliens. I'm trying to think, can you guys think of any like swarmy type movies?
The Birds, or the Bird movie.
Birdemic.
There was also a spider movie where like this small circle of people just got like hoarded with tarantulas in their houses.
Is that like Arachnophobia?
Is that the name of the movie?
I think so.
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
Like one of my
Think of
favorite
just
movies.
a swarm of hell.
Or migratory birds that are about to take a deuce on your car.
A lot of deuces, and the deuces are acid that melts your flesh.
Yeah.
So not good.
No.
Wait, is this part of the poison sets?
What do you mean?
Infect count?
In fact, no. That'll be in like Mirrodin, and that'll
That's
be in New Phyrexia,
Yeah.
which
Oh.
Mirrodin turns into.
We'll talk about infect counters a lot later.
Yeah.
It's a problem.
I enjoy it.
They're-
I enjoy a lot of things that everyone typically doesn't. Where was I? Oh, yeah, they're basically like spiky bugs. That's a good way to put it. Spiky centipedes?
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
If any of you are gamers and have ever played StarCraft, imagine the Zerg. It's a swarm. Anyways, next set is Apocalypse, which is a fun set. So basically, Urza and a group of Planeswalkers, because there are others besides him, go to attack Phyrexia itself, hoping to destroy the invaders in their own home. Gerard and Urza are forced to fight each other. There's a card that depicts this called Phyrexian Arena. The loser, aka Urza, is returned to life by Yawgmoth's power, and the two have to fight again. Gerard decapitates Urza, finds Yawgmoth, and they basically try to kill Yawgmoth. It's not working. Urza isn't dead, because decapitation apparently isn't lethal to Planeswalkers. And Urza's like, look, you see these stones in my eyes? I want you to rip them out and shove them into Karn's chest, who Karn, if you remember, is the Silver Golem. So they shove him into his chest. That completes the Legacy Weapon, which there's another card titled Legacy Weapon that depicts this. And then Karn basically explodes in light, spreading light over the entire world of Phyrexia. And Urza and Gerard are both killed in the blast, finally. Urza's come back to life like 3 times. It's a problem. He's Jesus.
Sure. Magic Jesus. Urza. Let's go with that.
Yeah. He
I'm
looks
not
like
surprised.
it. Anyways, Karn turns into a Planeswalker. The Weatherlight crashes into the ocean. Next set. I'm doing a lot of skipping here. There is so much more.
25 years of lore to go over. We do not have time to fit that in.
And I will do more in-depth lore pieces later. Like, I'll go more in-depth into each of these sets. This is a synopsis.
I get you caught up to now.
Yeah, Mirrodin is a plane created by Karn and named after the Mirari, a powerful artifact by Memnarch. Mirrodin's environment inhabitants mix organic and metallic. It's basically metallic beings.
It's my favorite set.
It is.
It's a great set.
They love that set. It's orbited by 4 satellites, which are called suns and moons interchangeably, that correspond to red, black, white, and blue magic. They'll explain later what the colors of magic mean.
They're not types. They're just colors.
Just know green is absent. Glissa's Sunseeker and Elf seeks to find out why the levelers seek to destroy her. I'll get more into levelers later. The next set, Darksteel, you basically find out the world is hollow. Glissa finds out that Memnarch is real, and it was basically the Lego movie. It's basically Businessman. He's waiting for Glissa to find him, and in the meantime, he builds something called the Darksteel Eye, which will make him basically a god over Mirrodin. Fifth Dawn, Glissa has a couple friends with her named Bosch and Slowbad. They go to the center of Mirrodin to confront Memnarch with a thing called Calder's Avatar, which you combine 3 different pieces, which is the sword, the helmet, and the shield. There's a card of it, or it's sword, helmet, chest. There's a card. There's 3 different cards you got to combine. We'll show you cards later, possibly.
Just in the urge to shout out Exodia. Sorry.
It's basically Exodia. They get down to Memnarch, and Memnarch's like, yeet, and turns their avatar against them.
Oh, no.
The avatar chases them throughout, and Glissa's like, oh, man, this is what I'm supposed to do. And she explodes into, like, a giant green light, which kills the avatar and creates a 5th sun moon called the Green Sun, because it's the last color missing, and gives Mirrodin its 5th dawn. We're going to go now into Ravnica City of Guilds. Basically, Ravnica is New York. If New York had only cities, and gangs in New York were comprised of 10 gangs. There's 10 guilds, basically, that signed an agreement agreeing to an era of peace on the eve of the celebration of the 10,000th anniversary of the Accord. The peace threatens to be broken. It's called the Guild Pact. The Guild Pact kept Ravnica stable for thousands of years. The 10 guilds want to become the most dominant guild. Guild Pact gets broken in Dissension. Basically, a leader of the Boros, which is one of the guilds, Kos arrests Zadok, which is the leader of House Demir, another one of the guilds. They arrest him, and because Boros isn't supposed to put out judgment on people, the guild pact gets broken, which leads to total chaos. I'm going to do a lot of skipping here. This is basically going from, 2008 to 2015. This is a set called Magic Origins. This is going to be very important for what the basis of the rest of the stories leading up to now are. So there's 5 major characters: Jace, Chandra, Nissa, Liliana, and Gideon. Jace was from the plane of Vern. He's a blue mage. He's a mind mage who digs into people's minds and gets the information that he needs. He basically works with a sphinx named Alhammaret, who Jace figures out is erasing his memory. They get into a mind battle, and Jace makes him forget how to breathe. Literally erases the memory of how to breathe. So
He's dead.
He's dead. Alhammaret chokes on himself and dies. This turns Jace into a planeswalker when he planeswalks to Ravnica. Chandra's from Kaladesh. Basically, her parents were rebels. She got in trouble with the law. She lit her hands on fire with magic, and after running with her parents, leaves the plane. I'll get more into depth with these. I don't entirely know all of their origin stories. I'll read, though. Liliana's from Dominaria. Her brother got really sick and died. She tried to save him, but instead turned him into a zombie, who in turn ends up killing the entire family, bar Liliana, who planeswalks to Innistrad. Gideon was known as Kithian from the plane of Theros. I'll be honest, don't know a lot about him. I'll do more later in an episode.
His name is Chad.
He's a lame-o. That's what he is.
He looks like a Chad.
He's a Chad.
He's a Chad. Nissa is from Zendikar.
We're not dissing Chads, by the way. It's just...
No, I'm dissing Chad.
Okay, we're dissing Chads now.
Nissa saw a bunch of Eldrazi Titans who I'll cover in a later episode.
Basically, they're giants, giant zombies.
No, they're like, imagine your intestines growing 10 times, not even 10 times larger. Just imagine them growing bigger and bigger and bigger and then being sentient all by themselves.
And if anyone's played Warframe, just think of the Eidolons. That's what they are.
Basically, it's giant death machines. She sees them. She's like, oh man, everything was going to go awful, and she planeswalks away. That's not even all of the story, but I'm going to cut it here because I don't have the want to continue right now.
And we got up to where we wanted to go. It's not the want, it's we got done.
Yeah.
So.
I am very mentally drained. This was a lot.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
It has been fun.
We will see you all.
This is Tommy signing out. If you like what you're listening, let us know if you see us in the hallways. I'm a fat guy who wears the same sweatshirt every day.
And we're tall and short and weird. Yes.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I'm still Lindsay.
And I'm Jacob.
And I'm Tommy.
I'll put our emails in the description of this video and of the podcast. So if you have any questions, feel free to email us or put comments on Wired.
If you have any questions about lore, email me and I'll get back to you in like an hour.
You guys take care.
Bye.